Hey everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Cooking with Kim. Today we're going to talk about being safe in the kitchen. So how to use a knife safely and vegetable peelers and things of that nature. So if you're like me, you don't lose all your extremities accidentally by making silly mistakes like I always do. I've actually got safety can openers, which I love. You don't even have to touch the top of the can with this at all. It has a little beak that you can use. See that right there? You just grab the lid, and we'll show you how to do that later on in the show. But first we're going to start out with how to use a knife safely. So it starts with how to hold the knife. Most people hold it like this with your fist. You think you've got a really, really tight grip, but it could be wet or something like that. It could be slippery depending on what you're cutting. So I'm going to lower the camera so you can see what I'm cutting. So let's say you're cutting carrots, and you just cut the carrot and, oh, if my finger was there, it just slips. It slips. It doesn't matter. If my finger was there, I might have lost it. So a better way to hold the knife is actually going to be with your two fingers on the top of the blade right at the end of the handle. See how secure that is? Plus your other fingers on the handle itself. So 3 fingers on the handle, index finger, and thumb on the blade. Not actually on the sharp bit on the bottom. You want to keep it right behind the handle, or right in front of it rather. So that way you have a nice, really, really good grip. That is not slipping. You can cut it. You can do anything you want with it. It's not going to slip. So that's probably going to be the safest hold for a knife. I wouldn't recommend doing it any other way, and you're likely to lose your fingers if you're not careful. The other thing you want to do is don't cut like this. See, I'm going to cut my fingers off. That's not good. So what you want to do is protect your little fingers. So what you want to do is use your knuckles as a guide. So kind of just hold whatever you're using, just kind of like that. So keep the ends of your fingers tucked in and your knuckles out. So if you're cutting along, not paying attention, you can't really get any farther than your knuckle. So no matter how sharp your knife is or how dull your knife is, dull knives are always more dangerous than sharp knives because we don't realize how sharp they really are. So you need to be really careful whether you're using a dull knife or a sharp knife. It doesn't matter. So basically what you want to do is, so now you can just keep cutting and you don't need to worry about your tiny little fingers. Now watch that pinky, because you don't want your pinky out. You're going to slice your pinky. Another thing you want to do is don't chop. Number one, that's bad for the knife. It's not really great technique. Another thing you can do is keep the tip of your knife down and kind of make a sawing motion. So that way you have more control. You're not just hacking away at things. So anyway, so that's a really good way to hold your knife. So let's cut some more carrot up. And then as you get more control with your knife, you can really go faster. Now don't go too fast if you're not really sure what you're doing. We'll just cut up some more carrots here. Now there's a couple ways you could do this. You can guide your knife back to your fingers, or I like to push the carrot through the item with my fingers just so that I know where they are. But you could really do it either way. So that's the lesson for holding a knife. Very important. I was taught this by a personal chef. He went to chef school. He's a great guy. Good friend of mine for many years. So you definitely want to hold your knife like this. You'll have maximum control with your knife. So you don't need to worry about slippage to lose your other fingers, and make sure you hold your fingertips in and use your knuckles to guide. That way you are not going to slice through your knuckles unless you're completely inept and decide to just hack your hand off. So don't do that. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is let's talk about shaving vegetables, or vegetables like carrots or potatoes. Happens a lot with the potatoes. So if you're, again, like me, a little bit inept where you hurt yourself a lot, one of the things you could use that I find really easy is I call it my safety vegetable peeler. It only will allow you to peel in one direction. So you can't really peel towards yourself. And the other thing is it has this little guard here, which doubles as a little kind of a digger to get like the eyes out of potatoes that you don't want in there, things in that nature. So basically, you have to hold it a certain way, otherwise it's not going to work. I can't hold it upside down and try to peel towards myself. That doesn't work. So you have to hold it with the blade down. Now if I peel back towards myself, that's not doing anything. So that's not working. So I have to peel towards the camera, so away from myself. That's the only way this is going to work. And then I can sit here and peel and not pay attention so much, because what's happening is this is hitting my hand as it's coming back. So I know, oh, that's as far as it can go. So what I used to do was totally not pay attention with a regular vegetable peeler, and then I ended up peeling the skin off of my finger. And my fiance got tired of that and bought me this. Lovely Christmas present. I haven't hurt myself since then. The other thing he bought me was the can opener that I showed you guys. I love it. It has the directions actually on the can opener itself. They're in white, so you can't really see it on the camera, but you would be able to see it in person. This is a brand I really, really like. It's not a cheap can opener. I've had it for years. It's like brand new. I think it was like $15. So if you enjoy cooking and you're like me and you cut yourself on cans, because you're not coordinated, this might be a really great investment for you. So what you do is take your can, and then there's a little arrow on the front of this, right over here, this little notch, that tells you where it needs to be pointed. So you know that now you've got the can. So what you do is you close this particular can opener, you close the two handles together, and you've got your can. And now you just turn the top. Just turn it, and then you're going to turn it until you kind of feel it let go. You're not going to get as much resistance once you get to the end there, and you can kind of see where it kind of jerked a bit. So now your can is done. So what it's going to do is it actually opens the seal rather than cutting the metal. Now, I don't even have to touch it. Just hold the bottom of the can, and let's see if we can pull it up. And there it is. I don't have to touch the lid. I don't have to do anything. So this is really great if you're like me, or maybe if you have small children helping you, like if they want to help you in the kitchen, open cans, do whatever. This is a great item, so you don't have to worry about them hurting themselves. They can even play with the lid. I'm rubbing my fingers around it. Nothing at all. I'm fine. So we'll just chuck it in the trash. And that's it. Okay. So, another great item, if you want to go back to vegetable peeling, if you don't have a vegetable peeler like this, excuse me for being a little bit ADD, or if somebody's helping you, maybe they're a small child, or someone who maybe shouldn't be using sharp objects, then you can even use a spoon. And the spoon will actually works really, really well. And you just do exactly what you do with the vegetable peeler. Just use the edge of the spoon, so this bit just right there, and just go ahead and just peel. See, it just comes right off. And you can hit yourself with it all day. You can, and it's not going to do anything to you. So this is a really, really great option if you don't have a vegetable peeler, or like I said, or if you're working with somebody like a small child who wants to help, but maybe not the best with sharp objects. So that's some really, really great things. So let's get into hot things like the stove. So I know for me, I'm not really great around hot things. I'm actually not allowed to touch my mother-in-law's wood stove because I burnt myself way too many times on it. But during cooking, some of the things I like to use are a little bit above and beyond normal pot holders. Because I've found in normal pot holders, sometimes don't work as well as you want them to. So if you have something like this, it's just a regular kind of thick material, kind of cottony inside. Nothing super special. Works well enough. But for super hot things, maybe not so great. So what I like to use is a little neoprene. And you could get something out of the broiler with this, and it's not a problem. As long as you don't have blemishes in it. So you see, like, right here, you want to make sure that you don't have any of those. So this particular glove may be good for cooler things right now. But the other one I have is perfectly fine. And you can get these wet, and it doesn't soak through. You know, I've gotten tons of food on them. You just wipe it down. It's really easy to use. So I really like those for hot ovens. Okay, so that's really about it that I have for basic kitchen safety. So we'll have another episode on using the stove properly and being around boiling liquids, like how to put vegetables in boiling water without having the water splash back on yourself. So hopefully for that episode, we'll have a special guest to help us with that. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope I can make another one.